Hi, my name is Julio Rivera. I'm an activist, journalist, adventurer, veteran, television presenter, and businessman. I've covered many of the major historical events going on around the world over the past several years, and after watching regime changes, conflict, and historic elections globally, I've come to the conclusion that the most underreported crisis in the world today can be defined in only one word: malware. That's why I've decided to dedicate my time to educating people everywhere and exposing the dangers that exist on the devices that we've become tethered to and depend on for so many reasons in our day-to-day life. Welcome to This Week in Malware. On This Week in Malware, we'll be covering: the FBI and other agencies warned US hospitals of imminent ransomware attacks. Fake Covid-19 test results, phishing email spreads King Engine ransomware, and Regretlocker ransomware uses advanced techniques to encrypt Windows virtual machines. In late 2020, the FBI, the Department of Homeland Security, Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, and the Department of Health and Human Services warned hospitals and healthcare providers of a looming ransomware threat attributed to cybercriminals from Eastern Europe. The organizations claim to have received credible intelligence that hackers are targeting the healthcare sector with TrickBot malware and attacks that result in data theft and disruption of healthcare services. The alert mentions TrickBot, particularly the Anchor evasion detection modules used in hacks aimed at high-profile organizations, and RYUK ransomware, which can be delivered using the TrickBot botnet. Both TrickBot and RYUK ransomware have been linked to Russia. RYUK causes mayhem in 2020. According to security firm SonicWall, ransomware attacks have surged in 2020, with RYUK ransomware playing a major role globally. The firm noticed malware infections reached a whopping 4.4 billion during the first 3 quarters of the year. Although that represented a 39% decline from 2019, ransomware incidents rose by 40% during the same time frame, with a total of 199.7 million incidents reported. A third of the attacks were attributed to the RYUK strain. In 2019, there were only 5,123 RYUK ransomware attacks recorded during the first 3 quarters of 2019, compared to 67 million during 2020. Although it's a relatively newer strain, RYUK ransomware has already evolved from a derivative of the Hermes 2.1 strain and a payload for banking trojans such as TrickBot to one of the most employed hacking tools used in phishing campaigns against organizations that include healthcare facilities. Data-related attack compromises 3.5 million US medical patients. According to Dirk Schrader, the global vice president at NewNet Technologies, the results of 13 million medical exams involving an estimated 3.5 million US patients are currently unprotected and available to anyone on the internet. These records can be accessed via an app that can be downloaded from the internet. The records were found on files that were still actively updated and provide an opportunity for criminals to execute identity theft, including medical identity theft, personal extortion, and healthcare company breaches. A variant of Hentai Onichan ransomware, known as King Engine ransomware, is being delivered to victims in a coronavirus-themed phishing campaign that was discovered in late 2020. The variant exfiltrates data and demands a significantly higher ransom than ransoms previously requested during Hentai Onichan campaigns. According to researchers, this campaign uses the COVID-19 pandemic to compromise the victim's device by sending emails that contain the recipient's coronavirus test results in an attachment, supposedly. Fake COVID test result phishing emails come loaded with ransomware. The emails being sent by hackers provide a password for opening the doc and refers to a nurse that can answer their questions. Once opened, The downloadable PDF or HTML attachment drops and executes the Hentai Oni-chan ransomware on the recipient's device. After exfiltrating data, victims are asked to pay a whopping 50 Bitcoin. 50 Bitcoin is an absurdly high figure which may not compel many victims to pay. In addition to the absurd price, the email addresses mentioned on the ransom note is a Gmail address, which leads some experts to believe that the hackers behind the campaign are newer and lesser experienced crooks. Researchers from COFENSE Intelligence stated in a blog post that the Hentai Oni-chan ransomware was first discovered in September of 2020. As COVID-19 infections have risen around the globe, a large number of people have taken the test and find themselves awaiting result. As a result, attackers get to exploit a real threat, and it seems to be working in their favor at this time. As we continue to navigate this era of the coronavirus pandemic, you can bet that hackers will continue to exploit the fear and frenzy associated with the disease for financial gain. A new ransomware called Regretlocker was discovered in late 2020. Regretlocker employs various advanced features that allow it to encrypt virtual hard drives and close open files for encryption. Regretlocker, in many ways, is a simple ransomware, as it does not contain a long-winded ransom note and uses email for communication rather than sending victims to a Tor payment site. When encrypting files, it appends the .mouse extension to the encrypted file names. Regretlocker's advanced features include the ability to mount virtual hard disks. When creating a Windows Hyper-V virtual machine, a virtual hard disk is created and stored in a VHD or VHDX file. The virtual hard disk files contain a raw disk image, including the drive's partition table and partitions. When a ransomware encrypts files on a computer, it is usually not efficient enough to encrypt a large file, as it slows down the entire encryption process's speed. Researchers analyzed Regretlocker. In the samples of the ransomware discovered by Malware Hunter team and analyzed by Advanced Intel's Vitaly Kremins, Regretlocker mounts a virtual disk file so each of its files can be encrypted individually. To achieve this, Regretlocker employs the Windows Virtual Storage API Open Virtual Disk, Attach Virtual Disk, and Get Virtual Disk physical path functions. Once the virtual drive is mounted as a physical disk in Windows, Regretlocker can encrypt each one individually, increasing encryption speed. The code utilized by Regretlocker to mount a VHD is believed to be based on one recently published research by security researcher Smelly_VX. In addition to using the Virtual Storage API, Regretlocker also uses the Windows Restart Manager API to terminate processes or Windows services that keep files open during encryption. While using this API, if the name of a process contains VNC, SSH, MSTSC, system, or svchost.exe, the ransomware will not terminate it. This exception list is thought to be used to prevent the termination of critical programs or those used by hackers to access the compromised system. Windows Restart Manager feature is only used by a small number of ransomware strains that include Revil or Soldino-Kibi, RYUK, Conti, ThunderX, Medusa Locker, SamSam, and Locker Goga. Although Regretlocker has not been active at this point, it is a new strain to keep an eye on. You know, as I think about the dangers that exist online, not unlike the subjects we learned about in this video, I know I feel a lot better having an anti-malware program like SpyHunter installed in my PC, providing me the protection I need against malware, and I think you should too. SpyHunter 5's strongest features are found in its malware repair capabilities. SpyHunter 5's remediation algorithms dive deep into your system to remove and address complex malware issues affecting PCs today. While many anti-malware products only flag and quarantine malware and ultimately fail to fully remediate the root problem, the SpyHunter 5 remediation algorithm detects, quarantines, and programmatically repairs malware problems on your PC. SpyHunter 5 is a powerful PC utility that repairs malware threats in many cases where other competing anti-malware and antivirus programs may fail. To detect and remove malware for free, go to enigmasoftware.com and download SpyHunter today. Thanks for watching.